Calvin Ford, Gervonta Davis's trainer, has since come out in an interview with Fight Hub saying that Tank is taking this fight 100% serious. This exhibition with Jake on November 14th, he's fully committed. He is training hard. New footage has since come out of him demolishing the heavy bag, looking dangerous. Calvin Ford, Tank's coach, originally said Tank was just going to go through this and treat it as what it is, an exhibition, a show, not take it as seriously as he probably should. But it looks like Calvin, who Tank looks up to as a father figure, I think he takes what he says very seriously, psyched him into it to get ready, prepare, as if this is a real fight, which it very well is.
When you see this fight, do you see like Tank just having his way with Jake? Like given like, no?
No, I'm gonna tell you, this is what I tell Tank, and Tank said it in the interview. Y'all go in there doing y'all thing, woo woo woo. And I said, he ain't giving you nothing. Let's look at it. Look at all the persons he fought. He ain't giving them nothing. Especially when he fought Tyson. He took a lot. He stripped Tyson of a lot of things. You mean to tell me you start hitting Jake with some shit, he ain't gonna fight back? He said, fact. So I said, you gotta take him serious. You get what I'm saying? Because he talked about, he had you on a hit list before this fight even happened. So his mental is on you. So you have to take him serious.
Jake is gonna try to knock him out. He's not gonna take pity on him like he did with 50-year-old Mike Tyson, even though he hit him with some shots that could have been with the intent to put him down. But I do think Jake let him survive for the most part. I think he could have finished it whenever he wanted. But I'm gonna be honest, after the last press conference and looking back at Jake's previous fight with Chavez Jr., trying to see his game, what he's gonna bring into the fight, his skill level, to see how much of a chance Tank does have, because when this initially got announced, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Jake was gonna win full on, easy. You know, him being as big as he is, 70 to 80 pounds, probably on fight night almost 100. He weighed like 230 versus Mike. I can't see Tank going up to 150 or 160. I think if anything, that's gonna hurt his strategy, which I think is to overwhelm Jake. Him being the smaller guy is gonna have speed, cardio on his side. We see in the later parts of Jake's fights, he starts to gas out, he gets tired, defense starts to go out the window. I mean, he already fights with his hands down. Watching him versus Chavez, there was just so many moments where he looked so uncomfortable, uncoordinated, was falling into range, and unfortunately Chavez, being as old as he is, he wasn't able to capitalize on it, but Tank will be able to. Tank is one of the greatest counterpunchers in boxing today, and Jake Paul is not that quick. Alright, we saw what Tank did to Ryan Garcia, and as fast as Ryan was, he wasn't able to get his shots off against him. You know, I remember Jake said a long time ago that Tommy Fury, I'll pull up the clip.
What was the hardest puncher you ever faced?
Probably Tommy. I think more so his timing, right? I think timing's more important than anything. Like Tyron was strong, Mike Tyson was strong, but Tommy had better timing. And like placement of punches.
Tommy Fury couldn't stop a guy with 102 losses, and Jake Paul said that was the hardest puncher he ever faced. And you know why? Because Tommy Fury is somewhat of a real boxer. He trains with boxing coaches. He was brought up that way. He knows how to throw a proper punch, time it, throw it, and land with accuracy, just like Tank. And I really don't care about the size difference. I think if Tank lands flush on Jake's chin, he will go to sleep. And what makes me even more confident that Tank will dictate the pace of this fight is looking at this leaked sparring footage from Jake sparring in camp, and you can see the guy in there with him is a lot smaller, in southpaw stance, trying to replicate Tank. And my first thought when I saw it was, wow, like this is a very slow pace for what I think at least the fight is going to look like, because I see the way Tank's training, working on speed, volume. It tells me he's going to come in with intensity, aggression, and really try to swarm Jake early. I wonder how Jake sees this fight's going to go, because even in the face-off, you saw he was a little intimidated. Tank did the slightest feint, and Jake had a whole reaction, step back completely. It's like Jake's already showing Tank so much respect, and that tells me all I need to know. Like, first bell goes, who do you think's going to take that first step back? And I do think that is key for Tank's game plan to work in this fight. It's just like with Usyk and Fury. Usyk had to win that front foot battle early, because he had to overwhelm Fury with volume and intensity, make him move, gas himself out, so later on you take full control. And that is how I see Tank winning this fight. And it's not even just versus Chavez Jr. where Jake has shown great signs of fatigue, but versus Mike Perry, who didn't even present much of a threat. He was hardly throwing any shots. He threw a total of 49 punches in 6 rounds. So this guy clearly wasn't volume heavy, but what was working was him walking forward on Jake nonstop, applying pressure. By round 3, you see Jake breathing heavy in his corner, and it's because Mike while he's not throwing any punches, he's still making Jake work, plucking that jab out nonstop, keeping Mike at a distance. Over time, the amount of shots he throws, his arms start to feel a little bit too heavy, and that's when you start seeing holes in his defense. Saw Mike catch him a couple times with the left hand off Jake's jab, which Mike Perry, for being as bad as a boxer as he is, he was able to time Jake. And it was the same shot over and over again. The left took off the jab, but Jake was too exhausted to make any adjustments. But I will say this, where I do worry about Tank is obviously size difference is massive. If Tank is in an uncomfortable situation and has to clinch, he won't be able to wrestle with Jake in there. Jake could easily shove him off. If Tank gets hurt, how does he get out of it? There's really no exit strategy. So while I do think Tank has the upper hand, there are a lot of ways this can go wrong. And you guys might think it's crazy, like, oh, Jake's so big, how could he be intimidated? What stops him from just rushing in and going off on Tank? I don't know. But even with Logan Paul, when he fought Floyd Mayweather, he got worried about getting caught to where he took a foot or two off the gas, and the same thing could happen here. So yeah, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.
Hello. Today, I'll admit, I'm an official gay with this new girly dress.